Hey, what's going on guys? My name's Jake Newby, and today we are gonna be talking about how you can get professional sounding audio in your videos. Although it is oftentimes overlooked, audio is as important, if not more important, than the actual images in your video. You see, most people will actually watch a poorly shot video, whether that's because there's poor composition or bad lighting or it's slightly out of focus, whatever it is, most people can kind of get through that as long as the audio is acceptable. If the audio isn't good, most people typically do not hang around to watch the video because they can't comprehend what's going on through what they're hearing. So that's why it's super important to make sure that when you get your audio, you edit it through Adobe Premiere or Audition or some other editing platform so that you can make sure that you're getting clean, crisp audio every time. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is everyone's independent voice. Everyone's voice is unique to themselves, meaning typically two people don't sound the same. Everyone has their own pitches, tones, highs, lows. That's all unique to themselves. Now, because everyone's voices are so different, microphones are actually designed to record your audio in kind of a flat, monotone type of way. The reason being is that all of these microphones need to capture all these different voices, and they need to make them into one kind of monotone-ish voice that doesn't sound super weird or distorted when one person gets up on the mic, but another person gets up on the mic and it sounds fine. So we use programs like Adobe Audition or Adobe Premiere to tweak the settings of the audio to make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate to how your ear would hear it in real life. So let's jump into it. Okay, so at this point during this tutorial, I will say that it's probably beneficial to wear headphones if you can, just because you'll be able to hear the changes and the differences much clearer. So I'm in Premiere and I just have this clip in my timeline that is from the tutorial that I shot earlier, so we'll have a quick listen. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more important. So not bad, but the first thing I notice is that over here in the levels panel, I'm only getting a feedback from the left channel and not the right channel. So I'm gonna come over to the effects tab here and type in fill. And I'm gonna drag and drop this fill right with left. And now you can hear clear, and more importantly, it's unique. We've got both channels acting properly to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate to how you're cool. So that's pretty much all the editing I actually do in Premiere. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to highlight this clip, we're going to right click and go to edit clip in Adobe Audition. And so before I make any kind of crazy edits to it, I will just bump up our audio a little bit. I can tell it's kind of quiet, so let's make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to. Yeah, that's a good starting point. So what I'll do is I'll just take out any kind of background noise or any kind of hissing, buzzing, anything like that. So I can tell that in this area right here, I stop talking. And this is obviously where I'm talking because the wavelengths are bigger, and these small waveforms here are just that background hissing noise. So I'll play that again so that you can hear it. Good. So let's zoom out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the effects tab here, and we're going to go down to noise reduction and hit noise reduction process. And the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to create a noise print. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to where we know the hissing noise is, and we're going to hit I on the keyboard. And we're going to come forward a little bit and hit O on the keyboard. And then we're going to come back to this panel here and say capture noise print. Good. So now that we have that captured, what we're going to do is we're going to take this highlighted area, we're going to drag it all the way to the front, and now we're going to drag it all the way to the back. So into it. What we've done is we've taken out that hissing noise that we heard before, and we have told the program, okay, that hissing noise that you captured in the highlighted area, we now want to apply to the whole thing. So if we play this back now, to make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to, and especially we play back this one area where we heard hissing before, you hear nothing. And that's what we want. So we're gonna hit apply. And so now where all this hissing noise once was, you can see we have nothing, which is what we want. Awesome. So the next step that I like to do is I like to come up to the effects and go down to filter EQ and just throw on a parametric equalizer. And I really don't try to tweak too much. I mean, it's going to vary depending on the person speaking or in the audio that you've gotten. But we're going to come down here and we're going to go to vocal enhancer and we're going to listen to this. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate to how your ear. So I'll just listen to this and I'll kind of play with the settings here. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just adjusted the different parameters here to kind of give my voice a little bit more on the lows and make my voice sound a little bit more full. So I'll play the before and after and we'll see if you guys can hear a difference. And like I said, headphones I think are definitely gonna help. So here's without it, and then halfway through I'm gonna switch it. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, and here's clear, with it. And more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking. So you can hear it kind of has like a little deeper feel to it when I turn it on. So we're gonna go ahead and apply that. Okay, so now I'll just come down to my effects here and I'll just come down to special and go to mastering. And I'll just change this preset to something like, I like mid enhancer. That seems to do pretty good. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking in it. Just drag that down a little bit. Sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear. And I'll just enable the low shelf. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear. Okay, and we'll hit apply on that one. So then for the next thing that I'll do is I'll just come over back to the effects and I'll go down to amplitude and compression and go to multi-band compressor, and I'll just come over to the broadcast preset here. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate. So that sounds pretty good. I'll just drop this down a little bit. Crisp, clear, and more, because we are peaking just a little. Importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it's much better. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and so we'll play the before and after again. You'll hear it's just a slight change. So here's the before. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever. So then we'll hit apply on that. The last step that I'll do is I'll come over to the effects and I'll come down to amplitude and compression and I'll just go down to normalize. And so typically I don't mess with the percent, I just go straight to the dB and I just set this to -3 and hit apply. And so you see it kind of just shortened all the waveforms. It's kind of just averaged them a little bit. So we'll play this back. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate to how your ear would. Cool, so let's jump back into Premiere. I'll just save that. So obviously everyone's voices are gonna sound a little different, so you may have to make some different adjustments than I did, but for this one it's sounding pretty good. So let me just play a quick before and after for you. To make sure that the voice sounds crisp, clear, and more importantly, it's unique to whoever's speaking and it sounds accurate. So as you can tell, it makes a huge difference to process your audio in Adobe Audition or Adobe Premiere. So that pretty much wraps things up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and we will see you all in the next video.